This is Warden 1, Roger, over.
Warden 1, this is Warden X-ray. One sampan evaded to the beach. 2 male occupants abandoned a sampan headed up the beach. Taken area under fire. We'll amplify later, over.
This is Warden 1, Roger, out.
Return fire from the riverbank indicates a larger force supporting the crossing. What looks at first like a couple of farmers or fishermen may turn out to be VC carrying intelligence, supplies, weapons, or a sampan loaded with explosives.
Warden 1, Warden X-ray receiving heavy automatic weapons fire, vicinity of evasion. Request scramble seawolves, over.
This is Warden 1, Roger, out. Steel Base 3, Steel Base 3. This is Warden, scramble seawolves.
At the River Patrol Force headquarters, the request for air support is relayed to an LST downriver, which serves as one of the several bases for special Navy helicopters supporting the PBRs. These are the Seawolves, armed helicopter gunships operated by Navy pilots from LSTs and airstrips throughout the Delta. They stand by on call to provide reconnaissance or fire support for the PBRs. Armed with machine guns and air-to-surface rockets, the Seawolves are prepared to move quickly to the scene of action. By working together, the PBR Seawolf team can deliver that extra measure of firepower which gives the edge to the small boat Navy. With nightfall, the Delta undergoes a subtle change, for the night presents a special challenge. The Viet Cong take advantage of the hours of darkness to activate their lines of communication. For the PBR crews preparing for night patrol, there is the knowledge that now is when they're most likely to encounter the VC. Again, they move out to their stations in pairs. Through the long, warm night, they maintain their vigil, either moving quietly along the river or lurking, silent and invisible, at the location of some suspected VC crossing point. Night patrols by the units of Operation Game Warden have sharply limited the mobility of the Viet Cong guerrillas in an area where they once moved almost at will. On many nights back in the dock at Binh Tui, at about the time the PBR night patrols are arriving on station, a small band of men working silently behind the scenes is preparing to move to an undisclosed location downriver. To them, the darkness of the Delta night is an ally and a friend. These are the Navy SEAL teams, so called because they operate on sea, air, and land. The SEALs operate in hostile and restricted environments with almost no support. The intelligence they bring back is often the basis for key operations of the small boat Navy. One of the bonuses provided by the introduction of the PBRs in the Delta has been the opportunity for expanded programs for civic action. By getting to know the people in the towns and villages throughout their patrol areas, the men of the small boat Navy have become familiar with their needs and have found ways to help them. Usually it is the basic things which are important. In this case, cement and steel reinforcing rods, which will allow the villagers to complete work on a small bridge they have been building. MedCap, Medical Civic Action Patrols, are also run as regularly as possible. American and Vietnamese doctors and corpsmen hold clinics in villages which would otherwise go for months without medical treatment. This kind of attention from friendly forces is often the winning stroke against the Viet Cong. Operation Game Warden has done much to limit Viet Cong movement in the Mekong Delta. More recently, a new branch of the small boat Navy has helped to take the fight beyond the rivers, into VC sanctuaries in the swamps and rice paddies. For many years, the South Vietnamese Army and Navy have worked together in river assault groups, attacking Viet Cong concentrations throughout the Delta. To augment this effort and increase the pressure on the VC, American salt troops are stationed on, moved and supported by ships and craft of the United States Navy. They operate in ever-increasing numbers throughout the 4,500 miles of rivers and canals in the Delta area. This is River Flotilla 1, an American fighting force designed for riverine warfare, with barracks and support ships which serve as mobile bases, capable of moving quickly from place to place in the Delta. The Navy craft assigned to accomplish this job have been adapted specifically for operation in the rivers and canals of Vietnam. The ATC, Armored Troop Carrier, which transports the assault troops. The CCB, Command Communications Boat, a floating command post. And the LCM Monitor, battleship of the fleet, which provides firepower to protect the force and support the landing. In effect, River Flotilla 1 is the amphibious assault group of the small boat Navy. The assault craft move the troops from the afloat base to the scene of the operation, often several miles away. In a typical search and destroy operation, as the force approaches their objective, they move from the main river channels into narrower streams, and the landing areas are softened up with fire. The assault boats hit the shore, and the troops are landed. The operation may last 2 days or as long as a week. While the troops are ashore, some assault craft are assigned to form a blocking force and provide gunfire support if needed. Others return to the base to stand by. When the operation is over, the troops are picked up and returned to the mother ships. Later, the entire flotilla will move to the scene of the next operation. In a sense, the modern United States Navy, attuned to the advanced technologies of the space age, has had to adjust to the unique nature of the conflict in Vietnam. The demands of coastal patrol and river warfare have produced new craft and new tactics to meet the situation. Vietnam has given birth to a new breed of sailor. Unprepared at first, he has developed the craft and weapons to do the job. Unskilled, he has studied and learned the ways of the river. Trained to military accomplishment, he has achieved many of his greatest successes through civic action. He sails not upon the seas and oceans of the world, but on the local waters of a small country in Southeast Asia. He is a member of a proud new rank of men who have taken a step beyond convention to accept a unique, new challenge in Vietnam. A challenge which has been met by the small boat Navy.